Hello friends, and a very big cheers to you. I'm filming this on a Friday night, so I thought I would have a drink. It's Malibu and pineapple. It's like, I promise not everything in my life is yellow, but it is yellow. So I am super duper excited about today's video. I really am, because this is something that I have been planning for a very long time. I have been thinking about this for about 3 or 4 months now. It's taken me about 2 months to put this together with the help of my mum, who's been amazing. You'll see in a minute. I've made a TBR game. So you might be thinking, Beth, you don't like setting TBRs. Why have you set a TBR game? You often tell us how you're a mood reader. Well, yeah, I am a mood reader, or I was a mood reader. I don't know anymore. I like picking books by my mood, because otherwise I feel like I'm forcing myself to read a book, and that doesn't necessarily work to make me enjoy a book. But recently I have been struggling when picking my next book, and when I was doing the Whatever You Want-a-thon, readathon, I was setting a TBR and I was picking the books off that TBR, and that made me feel like I had a slight bit of direction, and I quite liked it. So I thought it was a good time to introduce the world to my TBR game, Fictionary. Ta-da! This is Fictionary. So the idea behind this is to give me some sort of direction when it comes to picking my reads, and just some kind of loose guidance with prompts so that I have a fun little list of books to read. But also I thought this would be really fun content to put together. I thought these would be really fun videos to film. I thought it would be fun if anyone else wanted to get involved. I know my Patreons are going to be using the prompts that I put for this video and setting their own TBRs, so that's exciting. But also, I just thought the name Fictionary was too good not to use. This is inspired by Pictionary, hence the Fictionary. The board is based on the old Pictionary board, but with circles instead of squares. We have got colours relating to each category, as you do on Pictionary, and we have different categories that will contain different reading prompts, again, as you do on Pictionary, but instead of drawing, I will be reading a book. So this is the board. Massive credit to my mum, who I think just needs to be dubbed like Fictionary Creative Design Director, because this is her masterpiece, and yeah, I think it looks great. I'm really pleased with it. I love the colours, I love the design, I'm so excited. I'm gonna try and tell you coherently about it, but also I'm really bad at explaining things, so I'm sorry in advance. But we have 5 different prompt colour category things on this board. We have got blue, we have got purple, we've got dark blue. Dark? What words am I saying? This is dark blue, although I keep thinking it's purple. This one's purple, this is dark blue. This is green, and this is pink. If they look any different to you, well, that's just what we're going to say they are. So we have got these. I have got cards the same colour in a little box with all the prompts pertaining to each category. The categories are, we have got people and places. This is the same as in Pictionary. There's people and places in Pictionary. Then we have got appearance, which is our purple. Then we have got title, which is our blue. Difficult, which is our green, which is again a similar category as is in Pictionary, and then we have got any book, which is based off of all play in Pictionary. So those are the categories. I'm going to attempt to explain them to you now. So the aim of the game is for me to have 6 goes at the moment. I may increase, I may decrease. 6 goes, 6 rolls to pick 6 or more, bear with me, books for my TBR. So I will land on 6 different circles there that will pertain to 6 different categories. Then I will have to draw a card of the colour circle I land on. So for example, if I land on people and places, I will draw the card that says enemies to lovers, and I will have to find a book that has that prompt in it. So each category has got quite a few prompts. Now I have come up with these from my own brain, my friends have helped, and my patrons have been a huge help. They have contributed quite a lot of the prompts in here. So these basically are going to be deciding my TBR. Now I'm a little scared because each category I'm okay with, apart from people and places. Now there's a reason behind this. I am really bad at knowing what actually happens in books before I've read it. Obviously, no one knows what happens in the books, but I'm bad at knowing anything about books before I've read them. I don't often know what tropes there are in books. I did initially have one of these categories as tropes, and I had to get rid of it because I couldn't actually list any of those tropes when practicing. When like, well, not when practicing, but like when my friends were asking me, you know, what about this trope? I'm like, I don't know what tropes any of my books have. So that was a small teeny weeny problem. So people and places basically contains any prompts that link to people or places in books. So that might be a book with a map on it. It might be a book with multiple protagonists. It might be a book with LGBTQA+ rep in it. You get the plan of what people and places would be. Then appearance is anything to do with the cover or the design of the book. So we would have Why am I still holding this like a gauntlet? So we would have things like a green cover, a cover with a flower on the front, a stenciled edge design, that kind of thing. Then we move on to whatever is next, title. Title I think is my favourite because I think hopefully that'll be more of a scavenger hunt than me trying to think about what each book contains, but title will be something like a title with one word, a title that is the something of something, a title with a regal reference in it, various things like this. Should be quite good fun. And then we've got difficult. Difficult is prompts that I will personally find challenging, or I've attempted to make it like that anyway. So these will be things that I will struggle to either find, or not find as such, but like prompts that should make me push myself a little bit. So for example, I don't read many classics, so one of the prompts in there is to read a classic. I think another one of the difficult prompts is read the last book you bought or received. So things like that that just kind of push me into a bit more of a challenge for myself. So the difficult ones are the terrifying ones, basically. Then we've got any book, which is the equivalent of all play. Now this is my nice prompt for myself. I can pick whichever book I like here because I don't want to make this feel like a chore for me. I don't want to feel like I am restricting my reading at all. I want this to be really good fun, so I wanted to put something in there that did allow me to put in books if I wasn't able to get them into prompts that are Patreon picks or book club picks, or just anything that I know I want to be reading, be it a new release perhaps, then I can get those in as well for that reading month. And then we have the forfeit cards. So the forfeit cards are basically what I have to draw if I fail. There's two ways I can fail at the moment. I may elaborate on this. Way number one, when I draw the prompt for said category, I have 1 minute to find that book on my shelves. Now this relates to the actual game of Pictionary, because with Pictionary you draw your prompt and you've got 1 minute to draw. You draw your prompt, I meant like you pull it out as in you draw it. You take your prompt and you have 1 minute to draw that prompt. So I have 1 minute to find a book on my shelves. I've timed this, I've done kind of practices or like just checked this would be okay and functioning. You think 1 minute's a lot, or you think it's not enough. And it's either too much or really not enough. So there's no middle ground. So that's going to be interesting to see if I can do that. But basically, if I cannot find a book within that 1 minute, I have to draw a forfeit card. Now these will be things like phone a friend and they will pick your next read, or my mum picks my next read, or I have to pick a read on the shelf of the book I just finished, for example. Various different things like this. So that's one way I can get the forfeit. The other way I can get the forfeit is, now this one I feel like is trickier because I'm not necessarily going to know at the time, so I need to see how this works, but it's a temporary rule. The other way to get a forfeit is if I bring a book back that, say, I panic and think, that's enemies to lovers. I bring it back, I show you guys, and then I realise it's not enemies to lovers. Now sometimes I'm not going to know this until I start the book because, as I said, I don't really go into my books knowing too much about them before I actually start them, but if I pick a book basically that is just not right at all, no, then that is another forfeit option. I don't think that one will be as commonly used. I think it's much more going to be if I can't pick a book within the minute, but here we are. If I do start reading the book, if you're watching it and you see me pick up a book and I'm like, I'm sure this is enemies to lovers, and you're watching this and you're like, you're wrong, it's not, I've read it and it's not, then I think at the moment I'm just gonna have to let that slide, or maybe that would be a forfeit in the next game. I need to work this out. What do you think? Because obviously for things like title, there's not really going to be forfeits for me getting it wrong because it's visible, and the cover as well, but yeah, I think it's just going to be for the people and places prompt. So let me know whether you think I should move that forfeit into the next game, maybe? I don't know. But what there is not going to be a forfeit for at the moment, but I may change this, is if I don't read the books, the 6 books, all of them, or if I DNF one, or if I switch one out or something, if I don't finish all 6 books, I'm not at the moment setting myself a punishment as such, because I don't want this to become something that I feel is something that is making me feel like it's a chore and not something that I'm really enjoying to do, because I think this should be really fun. So I'm kind of starting myself slow. We're walking before we run, and we'll see how this develops over the months. But those are the rules. Let's create August TBR using Fictionary. I'm very excited. Okay, let's give this a go. I feel like I need to tell you about my little player. This is Amy Pond from Doctor Who. I have her as a little wargaming figurine, so she's going to be my little thing to put around the board. Got my dice. I play Magic the Gathering and I kind of collect dice for it, so I have lots of cool dice, but today I have gone for like this pinky purpley thing. So that's all of that. Let's do my 6 rolls. I haven't actually written start and finish on this board yet. I might ask my mum to do that in her lovely swirly handwriting, but I have made it never ending, so if I get through the whole board I can just keep going. So The place that I'm on at the moment is the start place, but let's roll. Okay, 3. 1, 2, 3, great. We start with difficult. All right. Oh, I should say before we go into this, I have set aside the 2 books that I kind of want to be able to pick from this. I don't know if that's cheating, but I made the game, so it's not cheating. And they'd only be within arm's reach anyway. But I need to be able to fit The House and the Cerulean Sea into this because this is the book my Patreons have selected for me to read this month and make a dedicated reading vlog for. And The Maidens, which is my Patreon book club pick. So these 2 need to get in here somehow. So some any book options would be great. Okay, here's the prompt. I am not looking yet. I'm gonna get a timer up on my phone. Okay, I'm gonna read the prompt, then I'm gonna start the timer, and then I'm gonna panic. A book I know nothing about. Okay. Guys, I bossed it. I bossed it. Okay, first one. We have got Ace of Spades. I know nothing about this apart from the fact it's a thriller. I know lots of people have really enjoyed it. I bought it really recently. I've got the really pretty red sprayed pages edition. But ultimately, I don't know anything about it. I knew something about it when I knew it was going to be released like months and months back, and that seems to have fallen out of my brain, as most pieces of information about books seem to, until I've read them. So this seems perfect, and this is by Farida Abiki Iyamidi. I'm really sorry if I pronounced it incorrectly, but I will look up the correct way to pronounce their name. But this is book 1 on my Fictionary TBR for August. Okay, let's roll again. We want any book, any book. 1, 2, 3, 4. Title. Okay. Okay, that's fine. We can do that. We can do that. Please say something that starts with the. Okay, showing you guys. Getting the timer ready. A title contains a colour. Is cerulean a colour? Cerulean's a colour, right? Cerulean! Cerulean! The House in the Cerulean Sea! Yes! I got it in there by TJ Klune. Don't really know much about this one either, if I'm honest. I know it's found family with some children that are dangerous and magical, and this guy has been sent to kind of assess them. Everyone says it's really wholesome and lovely. I had to get this one on my TBR, and I have achieved it! Oh my god, it's so exhilarating. Okay, roll number 3. I can't count 3. We're back on difficult. Okay, okay, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, I have shown you. I'm gonna look. I have my timer at the ready. Thinking about unhauling. That is cruel. Oh, but I have the perfect answer. I'm getting back within like 10 seconds at the moment. I'm very proud of myself. This is the perfect answer for this. The exact opposite of Okay by Laura Stephen. I recently literally put this on an unhaul pile. Then I read that all feminists need to read it, so I put it back on my shelves and thought if I don't read it within the next few months, I will unhaul it. I think this is the first one. I can't remember what the second one's called. A Girl Called Shameless is the second one, I think. I hope this is the first one. So, perfect. Oh, and I've got contemporary on there because I wanted to get contemporaries into my August TBR because I do enjoy a good contemporary in the summer sun. Okay, I really need like something to get the maidens in there now. We've 3 rolls left. It went off board, but we have 2, which is People and Places. We're getting all around all the prompts today. There's the prompt. Okay, I'm gonna look, then I'm gonna start the timer. Set somewhere I've been. Where's the maiden set? Where's it set? I don't know where it's set. Cambridge. I've not been to Cambridge. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh no. I don't know where I've been. Okay. I don't know if I'm happy about this one or not. This is the book that I've gone for. I really want to read this one, but I don't necessarily fancy it right now, but I have definitely been here. This is The Little Shop of Found Things by Paula Braxton. This is set in a town called Marlborough, which you may or may not have heard of. Marlborough has Marlborough College, which is like this really fancy-pantsy college, but this is pretty much in the middle of where I live now versus where my family live. It's a close town for me-ish. It's like 30 minutes away, maybe. It's somewhere that I've been quite a lot. I've been there throughout my whole childhood, and I really wanted to read this because it was set there, and now I want to read it still, but I don't necessarily know if I want to read it now. But here we are, it's going on my TBR. Will I get to it? I don't know, but the effort has been made. Oh, and as far as what it's actually about, I think someone goes back in time linked to some objects they found in an antique shop, maybe? Something loosely like that. Okay, I rolled a 2, which has given me the title prompt. Okay, please be something I can put the maidens into. 4+ word title. God damn it. Oh no. This game is kicking my ass. 4+. The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. 6 seconds to spare. I am adding in the Tea Dragon Tapestry. That card didn't specify whether the was included within the 4 words, and the is a word, so I think I would have put excluding the, because I think I put that on a couple of cards. So, the Tea Dragon Tapestry by Kay O'Neill. I am very excited to read this. This has been recently added to my TBR. This was sent to me from Lily for my birthday, so thank you, Lily. I'm very excited to put this on my TBR because 1, I know this will be a quicker read, so it kind of eases me into the process of having a TBR, but 2, I just love this world. This is the 3rd book, and it's beautiful, so perfect. I don't want to give myself the pressure here, but I kind of need to roll it 2. I have to roll it 2, or I have to get something that allows me to put the Maidens in because I need the Maidens on my TBR. It needs to happen. Right, the dice rolled a 2, but it fell off the board. What do we think? Do we let that? It's on the floor. I promise you it's a 2. Hang on, I'm gonna pick it up really carefully. It's definitely a 2. Oh no. In the rules of dice, that wouldn't really count, would it? But if I roll again and then it's a 2, then that's fate telling me it should have been a 2, right? Right? Let's try again, because I feel like if it falls, okay, new rule, if the dice falls, the roll doesn't count. I hate my own rule, but at the same time, I feel like that's if I was playing an official game of something, that would be the rule, so we'll roll again. It's a 1, which is difficult. Oh, okay, alright, this is fine, it's not a problem, it's no problem. There's the prompt card. Is it going to be torturous? I don't know. Finish a series. Oh, bollocks. No. So the reason that card's in the difficult section is because finishing a series doesn't necessarily mean reading 1 book. Which it doesn't for me. But these are going to be audiobooks. I'm claiming it. It's going to be audiobooks. I'm going to finish the Shadow and Bone series, it's going to happen. We have got Siege and Storm, we've got Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. I started Siege and Storm for a readathon like last month and then just never continued. I do have them both as audiobooks. I just finished my audiobook, so as soon as August begins, I'm diving in. It's going to happen. It's not the Maidens, but there's now 7 books on my TBR, except there's 8, because I do still need to read the Maidens. What have I done? Maybe I just read the Maidens next, because as of filming this, it's the 23rd of July. I'm doing this quite early because I wanted to be able to give my patrons the prompts. So what I might try and do is just read the Maidens as the next book I read this month. That's my plan. Okay, I'm gonna squidge the Maidens into July. Maybe it'll overlap into August a little bit. It's gonna be fine. Oh my gosh, this felt so chaotic. What? This was Fictionary. Shall we recap the TBR? First up, we've got Ace of Spades. There's no reading order to these, but this is just the first book I picked, and this was a difficult prompt for a book I know nothing about. I know nothing about this book, so there we go. Then I scored high with a title that contains a colour in it for my title prompts and picked The House in the Cerulean Sea, which was a book that my patrons have selected me to read over the next month, so I'm very glad this fitted, even if the Maidens didn't. Then this one is the one I'm most unsure of, but maybe this will prompt me to read this. Well, that's the point, that it's going to prompt me. Anyway, this is The Little Shop of Found Things, and this was for the prompt of Somewhere I've Been. Set in Marlborough, I've been to Marlborough. For 4+ words in the title, for another title card, which I think are my favourites, we have got the Tea Dragon Tapestry. This is a graphic novel. Hopefully this one will speed me up a bit now that I have 7 books on my TBR rather than 6. Pretty sure this one will be a quick read too. This is the exact opposite of okay, and this was for a book I'm thinking about unhauling, so this will hopefully decide for me if I'm going to unhaul it or not. I probably won't unhaul it now that I'm going to have actually read it, because I think this one will be quite an easy read. It's a YA contemporary, I tend to whiz through those, so yeah, not going to unhaul it now, am I? And lastly, thank you Past Beth and my patrons for creating all these prompts. I think this was one I created for myself. It was the prompt to finish a series. I'm going to finish the Shadow and Bone series and be able to actually watch the TV show, maybe, after I finish the Six of Crows series. Oh no. So I'm going to do these as audiobooks because I already own them as audiobooks. I did the first one as an audiobook and I did read that one in a day, so hopefully I'm not going to trip myself up here. So that's my 7-book TBR. I do TBRs now. It's what I'm like. You know, check out these TBRs. Oh dear. But that was Fictionary. Did you guys like Fictionary? Please let me know. I would really like to know if you did enjoy this video. If you did, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. It really, really helps me out. Comment down below your thoughts on Fictionary. I mean, I think this will be something that changes as it goes along anyway, because I want to be able to perfect it, as it were, and like work out any creases that don't quite work or any prompts that are just literally impossible, anything like that. The point is that I read the books on my TBR. I don't want to feel like I have to buy more books. I want to know that my books on my TBR are finally being read. I say finally, obviously I am reading books on my TBR, but I also buy a lot of new books, and I'm not restricting myself to not buy new books, but I'd really like to read more of the books I already own. So hopefully this will help, but yes, comment down below what your thoughts are on this. If you like the idea, join in if you want. I would really love for you guys to. Let me know if you are going to, any of the prompts that you've picked for the books you're going to read, and you can subscribe to see more of my face on your feed and see how I get on with this, because I will do a wrap up. Do I achieve it? I don't know, maybe there will be punishments in the future, but I will think about that. You can also find my Patreon link down below, where there will be the reading vlog for The House in Cerulean Sea. We'll also be discussing The Maidens as part of our book club, and there's also the option to be able to submit prompts to put into this game, so I'm constantly adding in new ones to just vary it a little bit. I am adding in ones that I deliberately know I will be able to succeed in, because I need to be able to pick the books off the shelves rather than buy new ones, but yeah, hopefully it should be a fun time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep smiling and stay positive.